Today, we have a special bonus sponsored episode from the Minocqua Area Visitors Bureau. Minocqua is an active Wisconsin vacation destination and a great place to escape from the city, see the constellations, learn about Native American heritage and history, and so much more. Crystal Westfall, CEO and president of the Greater Minocqua Area Visitors Bureau, is here to tell me all about it. It's Wednesday, May 7th, and I'm CityCast Madison executive producer Haley Sperling. Crystal, thanks so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks, Haley. This is going to be great.
I'm so stoked to have you, and we're here today to talk about Minocqua. I've actually been to Minocqua a couple of times. I have some friends who are from the area, but, for those who haven't been, or maybe even haven't heard of Minocqua, how would you describe it as a vacation spot?
Well, when we start talking about Minocqua, the first thing that comes to mind is in my visitors center, we have a woman that's been working here for 40 years. She always tells people when they come in, it is the first stop and go light you hit when you're driving on Highway 51 North. So we really are the first stop from Madison after all the traffic. It is really a quintessential vacation area. I romanticize it quite a bit.
As you should.
Of course. I mean, it's a gorgeous location, but I think about movies like The Great Outdoors and Dirty Dancing and that resort culture, from the 30s and 40s. We still have all of that here with a touch of a whole lot of other things.
I love that. And, for folks listening, you mentioned, Highway 51. Minocqua, it's really not that far from Madison or from Chicago. It's pretty much just a 3-hour straight shot north from Madison. And it's about 5.5-hour drive from Chicago, depending on the traffic, of course. But for folks listening or for folks who are considering making a trip, can you give us some of your favorite attractions to see while visiting if you had to narrow it down to your top 3?
Oh, that is the hardest question out there. It depends on the season. It depends on my mood. But certainly there is things to do all seasons. If you're into outdoor recreation, this is the hub. We are definitely all kinds of silent sports and all kinds of motorized sports. We've got 2,300 lakes, rivers, and streams to choose from. But if we're going to talk attractions, some of the big ones are Wildwood Zoo. That is the second largest zoo in the state of Wisconsin, and it also has a safari.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Fun.
it's very cool. We have the longest running amateur water ski show in the nation called the Minocqua Bats. Yeah, the Minocqua Bats are super fun. We've got museums, we've got art walks. I mean, literally just about everything you can do, we have it here.
I love that. That. And you guys also are kind of a big resort hub, right?
We are, yeah. Scattered across the Northwoods, there's hundreds of them. We obviously have a huge concentration here because we are the Lakeland area. We have so much water. But that harkens back to the old days when folks would take the train. They get on a sleeper car in Chicago and ride the train to the Northwoods and get off in the morning. And then they would go to their fishing lodge, which are now these amazing resorts. Sort of a generational vacation spot. So your grandparents would have vacationed here and then your parents came and now you come with your kids.
I love
and you
that.
always take the same week that you've done year after year. So it's these amazing families. And we've got such great stories of families that have been coming here year after year. And they come in and they say hi to us and they go to their favorite spots.
That's awesome. There's clearly a lot of tradition and tradition building in this area, which I love. That's so fun. And, in Madison, where I'm based, we're such an active city. We love our trails. We love our lakes. You mentioned it a little bit, but how does Minocqua compare as an outdoor destination?
Well, like I said, we have something for everyone. And that is no stretch of the imagination. If you want to do it in the woods, we've got it. If you are interested in the water, we've got it. Heck, if you want to get up in the air, we've got a great flight school over at Lakeland Airport. So we've got a little bit of everything, man. You can come and experience us in all seasons and do any of those activities, from fat tire biking in the winter to then using those same trails as a mountain bike courses. We've got a ton of different bike trails in the Northwoods here. here, specifically in the Minocqua area, we have some of the best, and I am probably a little bit biased, but it is an amazing destination to come and be able to zoom past these gorgeous lakes or be on a trail that was once a logging trail, and you can see remnants of, when they originally logged the area, when they would have drug wagons across the landscape. There's like a lot of history in that too.
Wow.
And so you can definitely get out in the woods and do all kinds of silent sports. Like I said, we've got biking, we've got hiking, we've got, cross-country skiing in the winter, both at these local areas like Minocqua Winter Park, which is really a gem, or in the Northern Highland American Legion State Forest, which completely encompasses us. Camping, boy,
Sure.
let's not even get into that because there are so many campgrounds. I don't know if I could rattle them all off, both private and public. And then, our jewel is the summer. I mean, what tourism destination doesn't say their jewel is in the summer, but we truly are. Because of the landscape, because of how we're situated in the Northern Highlands, hence the name of our state forest,
Sure.
we are a catch area for water. So the water basically falls from the sky. We don't, nothing drains into us. Everything drains out. So that means we have some of the most crystal clear blue water in the state. And
Wow.
we have many lakes named Crystal Lake for that reason, because they are crystal clear. You could go out paddle boarding and literally look down to the bottom of the lake and see muskies swimming underneath you.
Oh my
It's
God.
wild. I know. It's like you're basically playing in a fishbowl.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Also, like getting up close and personal with that wildlife
Oh,
out there. I
yeah.
love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, of course, all kinds of boating opportunities, depending on what kind of boats you love. I am a paddler by trade, both kayak and canoe. And I have a gazillion different lakes I can go to that are quiet, that are only accessible by those types of vessels. So you won't find motorized boats on them. Or I could go to the chain of lakes here and I could take out a motorboat and go skiing for the afternoon with my friends. And we've got plenty of rentals too. So if you don't have a motorboat, you can always come up here and give it a shot.
I was gonna say, is it a BYOB, bring your own boat
Yeah.
situation, or no? You guys got us covered.
We got you covered. We also got you covered if you want snowmobiles, if you want to rent a snowmobile for the day. So any season, if you want to do motorized sports or, like I said, silent sports, we've got rentals for those too. So it's a great place to dip your toe, and that pun isn't intended.
Literally.
Literally dip your toe into any of these types of outdoor recreation opportunities.
I love this term that you're using, silent sports, because it can just be, especially, when you're based in a bigger city, it can be so easy to get sucked into that hustle and bustle, and especially into technology. You're looking at your phone, you're on your computer 24 hours a day, whether you like it or not. And it really just sounds like Minocqua is a great place for folks to get away from all of that and truly reconnect with nature.
Yeah, you're disconnecting and then reconnecting. So we
I love
definitely
that.
want folks to to put their phones away. Of course, use it to take photos because we also want you to share on social media
For the gram, for the gram.
For the gram. Do it for the gram. We obviously are looking for you to share the experiences you're having, but we want you to be connected in the moment. There's a lot of folks that come up here and they do nature grounding. Just take your shoes off and stand on the earth, right? And just be a part of what's going on around you. And we have so many wild spaces for you to do that, and places that you can get away from the hustle and bustle and, in many cases, still be connected. Because we do have a lot of folks that come from, technology-based society,
Sure.
if you will. I mean, I guess we still all are up here too. I mean, I'm doing this, via
Right.
electronics, right?
You're not living up there
We're
without
not-
Wi-Fi.
We're not,
Like,
we're not in the boondocks anymore, but we still have the opportunity to have you connected. So if you're out on trail systems, we do have apps that can help get you around,
oh, awesome.
and still be connected, so you know where you are. Because that is a major concern for a lot of folks is, okay, I'm going out in the middle of the woods. Now what?
Right.
So we want you to be connected and be safe and comfortable where you're at. But we really want you to disconnect and be a part of nature. Back to that resort culture piece. I mean, we still have resorts that don't have Wi-Fi, that,
Wow.
that you're coming to the woods and you're going to be amongst community, and they still have the game rooms that you would go at night. And, play foosball or
I love
pool or
that.
whatever with your friends, and they want you to disconnect. But there's others that are very connected. And we have spas that also, have that opportunity too. Another really big thing up here, and I think it's becoming more popular, is this concept of cold dips or
Oh, like cold
cold
plunges?
plunges. Yes, that's the
Yeah,
word. Yes, that is becoming very, very popular. And so in the winter time, we have a lot of people that, that's how they disconnect.
sure.
And we've got a lot of places, 2,300 lakes, rivers, and streams. You can just choose where you want to go and do your cold plunge. And then on the reverse of that, saunas and steam rooms are really big too. So it's sort of there's also that kind of Norwegian culture, kind of threaded through this all as well.
I love that. It's like you're going to get really cold and you're going to love it. And then you're
Yeah.
going to get really warm and you're going to love it. Like both sides of the spectrum. And they're both great, right?
And they're both euphoric. Yeah. I never
Yes.
cold plunged until I moved to the Northwoods. I've been living up here for a decade now. And yeah, it is as great as a sauna.
Is it?
I love
I've never
it.
done it.
Yeah. You just got to get over the shock. And
Sure.
then, and then everything's great. It's like the euphoria on the other side. They call it like type B fun.
Sure. It's a little funky. It's a little fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I heard this year is going to be a big year for Northern Lights. What's the stargazing situation like in Minocqua?
It honestly is one of the most spectacular areas that you can come. I think anytime you get away from the big city lights, obviously you're gonna see stars. But when you come to the Northwoods, you see all of the stars. There are some amazing places, and we are going to be building out part of a website that will show you specifically where we would recommend you to go to be able to
Oh,
see the stars. And of course the Northern Lights are going to be a part of that. But I think what takes people's breath away the most is they get away from town and they look up and they go, whoa, that's what the Milky Way looks like. So as simple as just looking up and seeing what's in our night sky, which you may not be able to see on the regular, is incredible in and of itself. And then we have this, huge aurora forecast coming up. We definitely go out as much as possible to get shots of the Northern Lights, and it is really frequent. So the chances are, if you're up here for a few days, chances are pretty good you're going to see something.
odds are high, odds are good. Well, that is awesome. I love that. Maybe I'll go up and see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Again, you're bringing up so many good points around Minocqua is steeped in tradition and there's so much history. And there's also such a rich connection to Native American history. I know up in Minocqua. What are some of the ways that visitors can learn more about the area's heritage up there too?
The great thing about using this community as sort of our marketing platform with that word Minocqua, it's the only one of its kind in the world. And
Hmm.
it's because it's an Ojibwe word and it means noonday's rest. So if you were going to look at a map from an aerial map, you're going to see that downtown Minocqua is situated on what appears to be an island. And that would have been where the Anishinaabe people would have stopped on their trade routes, or so the story goes. That is how our understanding of what Minocqua means. There are a lot of different museums in the area that talk about that and that connection to the Ojibwe people that still live here. And we are right on the border of the Lac du Flambeau tribe, and they have an amazing museum. It's the Ojibwe Museum and Cultural Center that you can learn firsthand from the Lac du Flambeau people about their culture and about what it means to be in the area that we live in. They obviously are our, first peoples that lived here, and we honor that every day in our work here at our organization because of that connection.
That's amazing. There's so much cultural history to take in. And
Yeah.
speaking of culture, it's May. Pride season is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Madison is an incredibly queer friendly city. And I know as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, what's your perspective on Minocqua in terms of welcoming queer travelers? Because that's something that people take into consideration when they're going to new places, is how queer friendly is the city?
Absolutely. Yeah, when my wife and I decided that we were going to move to the Northwoods, I mean, there was no hesitation. When this position became available and I took the job, we have always wanted to live in the Northwoods and be part of that culture. And we have never found anyone to be off-putting to, to us, to our friends, to, anybody that comes to the Northwoods that, may, be part of the LGBTQ community. It's hard to put into words, but you feel at home when you come here. I say that as a transplant, and also as a visitor prior to me transplanting. I've always felt like this community was incredibly accepting of anybody that was traveling to the Northwoods. So, I've always struggled with the concept that, communities have not been welcoming. I've never seen that in the Northwoods. Our communities have been so accepting to LGBTQ, Black and Brown owned businesses, and we have a lot of them here in the Northwoods. And so, as a local, as a fellow worker in this town, because at the end of the day, that's all we really are doing. We're plugging along so that we can keep our tourism economy going.
I mean, yeah, you live there and you work there.
We're working. Yeah, we're working and we're a part of that. And, there's definitely that camaraderie. And I feel like the people that live here also want you to feel that camaraderie too when you come to the Northwoods. They want you to feel like you're part of the gang.
I love that, part of the gang.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very City Cast coded of you to say.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting huge Midwest nice vibes, but also like Northwoods tranquility. Just kind of that next level.
Yeah, it really is. It is a way of life. That Midwest nice we always tease each other about. Like I said, stop and go light earlier. Where
Sure.
else are you going to hear that, right? You get that sense of being part of something bigger than yourself. And I think that transcends politics and all that other baggage that comes along with it. So I love living in this community. I think it's one of the best places. And I have traveled around quite a bit and lived in other parts of the state. And it is the first place that I've ever felt completely at home in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful sentiment. And, for folks, if they want to start planning their trip up north, where can they get more information?
Well, of course, they can always call us. We have a visitor center here, and we've got a lot of folks that love to help plan your vacation for you. So you can always call us if you want to get that personal touch. You could probably talk to me if you want to talk about paddling, because the girls always say, Crystal, we need you. Somebody wants to talk about canoeing. So 1-800-44-NORTH is our 1-800 number. That's going to get you to us. Otherwise, you can go to Minocqua.org and start planning there. We can mail you a destination guide or any brochure that you're looking for, because we do have a visitor center that is 24 hours. You can stop in here as well and pick things up. Now, we're not here 24 hours. I will remind you of that.
I was going to say, go home.
We're going to go home for the night. But we do have a visitor center right here on Highway 51. Before you cross the bridge to get onto the island of Minocqua, you can definitely stop here and pick up anything you need.
Awesome. Well, Crystal, thank you so much for being here. And again, folks, check out Minocqua.org to learn more. And we'll have that link in our show notes for you, so you're just one click away from that dream Northwoods vacation. Thank you for listening to this special bonus episode sponsored by the Minocqua Area Visitors Bureau. If you liked what you heard, check out their website at minocqua.org. We've got a link in our show notes for that too, to make things super easy for you. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Until then, take care.